Good morning, guys. This morning I am an octopus today to tell you about a new discovery discovered in the tentacles, the arms of the octopuses. So we have cells. All living things are made of cells, and depending on what the cells are, where they are in your body, they have different jobs. So I've got a nerve cell here, I've got a bone cell, and I've got a muscle cell. A job for sensation, a job for structure. Some of them have a job for making those muscles move. These cells all have a cell membrane on the outside of them. It is an outer layer that protects what goes in and outside of the cell. They all have a nucleus. That's an inner little compartment that holds the DNA. That's the code of life that tells them what they're supposed to do. They all have a nucleus. That's the inner compartment that holds the DNA. And that is also surrounded by a membrane. We have it called the nuclear membrane. These cells have the cellular membrane on the outside, and then they have a nucleus in the inside that holds the DNA. That's the code of life. Most of your cells, your complex cells, are up in your brain. You've got a brain, you've got a spinal cord. These are part of your nervous system. And they all branch out into the outer parts of your body, down to your fingertips, so you can touch things and feel things and tells your brain about what you're feeling. The octopus has 2/3 of its brain cells inside its arm. So much of what goes on that the octopus knows about is in its tentacles. Now, these researchers just discovered certain specialized cells. So not all the cells are the same, remember? They all have certain things that are the same, but different cells have different purposes. They had certain cells that had receptors in them to identify specific chemicals. Now, you have receptors too. On your tongue. You have what are called taste buds. And when you're tasting things, you're eating things, you're able to tell what kind of food you're eating based on what those receptors are stimulated by. We call that a stimulus, something that you're stimulated by, that you're noticing. Well, they have receptors on their tentacles that can identify certain chemicals called terpenoids. And these terpenoids are a type of chemical that doesn't diffuse out into the water, doesn't spread out. Now, you may have heard that a shark can smell a drop of blood a long way away. And that's because the blood will spread out through the water and it will actually travel. Whereas in the case of this is a terpenoid, something that the octopus actually has to reach up and touch. When the octopus reached out and touched the things in the lab that had the terpenoids, they were actually pulling away or they were tapping on it. They would swim away. We're not exactly sure if they're just trying to identify if it's something to eat or if it's something dangerous. We don't know what it means, but we do know that they were able to tell just by what was touching in their cells, in their tentacles.